audit works, why it's so important, and the way to identify tools and resources. One of the questions that came up in the last session was, okay, well now what? Can I identify tools and resources? Can I pay for them? Rebates, government incentives, that sort of thing. But it all starts with a process that involves measuring. Even if I'm going to take action, I need to measure it and identify what I'm able to do. So, ladies and gentlemen, Antuan Cannon.
Hi everybody, good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Antuan Cannon and I'm one of the co-founders of a nonprofit called Envirolution. And in Envirolution, we work to provide green career development opportunities for young adults from diverse backgrounds. What we're working on right now, as Steve mentioned, is the Win Win campaign, which is a youth-led energy efficiency campaign geared towards small businesses. So I actually have two presentations that we can do today. And one focuses more on the program and how we train the youth and what sort of things they learned and what the process looked like. And then the other one is on the energy audit and what that process entails and what sort of incentives and recommendations we typically recommend. I thought that you guys being professionals and business owners would probably get more out of the latter. Would that be correct? How many business owners do we have in here? Okay, good. So let's go ahead and do that. So prior to launching Win Win, I worked as an energy auditor here in the city with a firm called EME Group. EME Group is contracted by a quasi-state agency called NYSERDA to do a variety of different types of projects. Has everybody heard of NYSERDA? Who has heard of NYSERDA? Please raise your hand. Okay, who has not heard of NYSERDA? So, okay, a couple of you guys. NYSERDA is the New York State Energy Research and Development Authority. And effectively, I view them as sort of a funnel of money into energy efficiency. They get funding from what's called the Systems Benefit Charge. And then if any of you look on your Con Edison bill, down towards the bottom where the tax line items are, you'll probably see a Systems Benefit Charge if you're in the New York City metro area. NYSERDA funds all sorts of green initiatives from sustainability issues like LEED rating, energy efficiency, renewable energy, and so forth. So if you guys get nothing else out of the day, please write down NYSERDA, circle it a lot of times, because if you want to do work in this space, you're going to want to work through them. So today what we're going to talk about is what an energy audit entails, and actually also to clarify, there's different levels of energy auditing. Typically, we'll refer to 3 levels of energy auditing as per ASHRAE standards. ASHRAE is the American Society of Heating, Refrigerating, and Air Conditioning, or something like that. I'm not looking at the acronyms up. But they set the standards for a lot of these different energy efficiency guidelines, and that's an important thing to know as well. So today we're going to talk about the purpose of an audit, incentives to do the audit as well as implement the recommendations. I'm going to go through the process a little bit, and then we'll probably focus mostly on recommendations. Through the Win Win program, we actually developed or focused on 16 specific recommendations, which we found to be the most cost-effective, low-hanging fruit, and definitely the stepping stones that business owners should focus on. So, what's the purpose of an energy audit? Clearly it's to help business owners or facility owners identify energy production and cost reducing measures. But there's other reasons to get an energy audit. First of all, to identify where your energy is going. I know I've dealt with a lot of business owners that really had no idea what the breakdown of their energy was. How much is going to lighting versus heating or cooling versus hot water. That's important because it can affect the way that you use these different equipment. Also, we want to make sure that your bills are on par with other facilities of similar size and similar use. We also want to identify energy conservation measures, ECMs. I'll use that acronym throughout. Those are essentially the cost-saving solutions, and that will lead into the capital improvements. A lot of the recommendations. Some of the recommendations that I'll mention today are low cost or no cost, but a lot of them will require some sort of capital investment. So you want to make sure you do an audit to quantify the savings and to determine whether or not that's a wise investment choice. And we also want to do an energy audit to help identify potential funding sources and incentives. As I mentioned, NYSERDA has a variety of incentives, and locally, Con Edison and Department of Environmental Protection also have incentives to look at. And finally, you want to get the technical assistance that will help you move forward with recommendations. So identifying contractors, identifying product providers, and so forth. So now I'll briefly talk about the incentive programs. And also, I mean, please, ask questions, if anything that I glance over, please.
Yeah, there's one issue that, I don't know if you want to say confuses me, but when you put, okay, first you have the initial low and no cost solutions, then when you get to the more capital intensive solutions, most business owners, they're renting or leasing the property they're doing business on, and they're, okay, so it costs me, I'm paying my electric bills, I could change the light bulbs, but the whole heating and electric structures of the building aren't mine to the landlords. He doesn't want to do anything. Is there a solution to that?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that's a great question. And
You say me cost as a renter because I'm paying the bills, but
so that would be another reason why to get an energy audit, right? Because recommendations will have different paybacks. Some will pay back within a year, some will take 5, 10 years. Windows might take 20 years. So, you want to work with an auditor or professional to identify what will pay back within the term of your lease. Not everything will, and the ones that don't, you probably want to disregard, because then you want to focus on the ones that you do. And also, you want to focus on the ones that you're paying for, right? A lot of people pay for electricity, not paying for gas, and so forth. So those are considerations that are made when we're coming up with the solutions and other recommendations in an audit. And please, raise your hand, interrupt every month. That was great. So, incentives. We're going to focus here on 7 incentives, which I feel are we've decided are the most relevant to small businesses. NYSERDA, as I mentioned, the New York State Energy Research and Development Authority, they have an energy audit program, or actually they have a variety of energy audit programs, but they have one specifically geared for small businesses. It's called the Small Business Energy Audit Program. And that program provides subsidized energy audits for businesses with less than $75,000 a year in electrical bills. Not energy bills, just electrical bills. And that fee is actually refundable. So if, it will cost either $100 or $400 depending on the consumption. And then if you implement the recommendations up to that amount, up to $100 or $400, NYSERDA will reimburse that initial fee. So it's arguably a free service, but there is a refundable fee up front. The second incentive is the NYSERDA existing facility incentives. That is effectively a rebate program. They have all sorts of prescriptive measures ranging from lighting to cooling, heating, refrigeration, motors, and so forth. And you can just go online on NYSERDA's website, and they have the breakdown of all the different levels of incentives for different products. And finally, the third NYSERDA incentive is the Energy Smart Loan Program. That provides subsidized loans for energy efficient upgrades. This program is actually currently on hiatus, and it's going to be reintroduced in the fall. But I wanted to share that with you because this is, this is a good incentive and one that businesses do like to take advantage of. It's actually 4% of interest reduction for anybody in the city, and it's 6.5% for Con Ed customers. This is actually also for commercial, not residential. Residential is a slightly different structure.
when you say Con Ed, does Con Ed have to be the supplier also?
Yes, exactly.
So you can't use cheaper third-party suppliers?
That's good. Well, no, you can, because Con Ed owns all the infrastructure. Exactly.
Yeah,
So you're still paying into
Yeah,
the
that's for
system.
sure, you have to pay them to deliver, period. But as far as the electrical supply, you have like, it used to be Economy, I forgot what they're called now, you have a third party where you can get cheaper supply rates. So that's what I'm talking about.
No, I understand what you're saying, and that doesn't necessarily exclude you from the incentive because it's delivery.
Delivery.
Exactly.